For months now, fans have known that The Marvels was going to be a box office disaster. The writing's been on the wall for quite some time, but it wasn't until recently, when the mainstream media was forced to admit the same thing that we've been talking about for months, that this thing in all likelihood is going to be one of the biggest box office bombs we've seen from the MCU. First Captain Marvel 2 box office projections are abysmal. And this is when the first numbers came out, and we realized that the pre-sales for this thing are tracking well behind anything we've seen in recent memory. Behind Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, even tracking behind Eternals, which opened to like $70 million. It does not look good for the Marvels. And considering that was a movie that we now know, Marvel was just so shocked that it got really bad responses from critics and audiences alike. They thought they had a banger. They thought it was going to be awesome. Maybe there's an indication that they're going to be a little more hesitant. They're going to try to protect this movie as much as they can, because the news that just came out about when the official review embargoes lift for the Marvels is telling everybody they have no faith that this thing's going to be good. And in fact, they're going to do their best to make sure bad word of mouth doesn't spread before the movie officially releases. From the Hollywood Handle, the Marvel social embargo lifts November 7th at 9 p.m. Pacific. So basically November 8th, the day before it opens with its early previews at midnight. The review embargo lifts November 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Again, the day that it opens is November 9th. That's the early Thursday preview days. And you're talking about midnight that morning. That's when the review embargo lifts. That is a huge indicator to almost everyone that they have no faith in this, that they don't think the reaction's going to be good. And you're seeing some cope from people that are saying, well, maybe they just don't want spoilers to get out. Come the fuck on, dude. Even when they're worried about that, they still have a couple days buffer because they want people to hear the reviews. They want people to know about how people are feeling about this movie. Not so much with the Marvels. Look at some of these responses. Holding reviews that close to release for the Marvels is not a good sign. Luis Fernandez here actually has a really thoughtful, a well thought out response to this entire thing. Disney's apparent lack of confidence in the Marvels is really giving me those Dark Phoenix deja vus. That would be really, really bad. Currently, both social media reactions and critics' full review embargoes will be lifted only on early morning of Wednesday, November 8th, same day the Marvels kicks off its global rollout in several European and Asian countries, and just one day before Thursday previews happen in the US. Very unusual for an MCU film. Even Endgame, which wanted to keep as few spoilers as possible, allowed social media reactions on Monday, 2 days before the rollout kickoff and 3 days prior to US. There is clearly something going on. We've talked about this for a long time. We have talked about the problems they had in production. They had to do multiple rounds of reshoots. It's now been cut down to maybe the shortest MCU film we've seen in history. And of course, around the same time, reports are coming out that Brie Larson is done with the MCU, that she's ready to walk away after this movie. And I don't exactly blame her. The fans, we have been talking about this for a long fucking time. The mainstream media is finally starting to catch up with us about all the problems we've been talking about, that we've been speaking out about when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the Marvels, it's too late to save this thing. It looks like Marvel's just doing their best to do damage control. They likely know this is going to be a failure. This is something, when the final budget comes out for this, undoubtedly, it's going to be over $300 million that they've spent on this piece of shit. And in all likelihood, it's going to be a massive loss for Marvel and for Disney. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments section below. Clearly, they don't feel confident about this film, not allowing social media reactions or review embargo to lift until the last possible second. Let me know in the comments section below your thoughts. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.